Hi, welcome. So for today's lesson, let's try solving some word problems in mathematics. Let's start. A car traveled 281 miles in 4 hours 41 minutes. What was the average speed of the car in miles per hour? Let's look at the solution to this question. We first convert the time of 4 hours 41 minutes in minutes. So it would be 4 hours 41 minutes equals 4 times 60 plus 41 equals 281 minutes. Next is, average speed s is given by distance divided by time. S equals 281 miles divided by 281 minutes is equals 1 mile per minute, so it would be equals 60 miles per hour. So the average speed of a car is 60 miles per hour. Let's move on to the next question. In a group of 120 people, 90 have an age of more 30 years, and the others have an age of less than 20 years. If a person is selected at random from this group, what is the probability the person's age is less than 20? Let's look at the solution to this question. Number of people whose age is less than 20 is given by 120 minus 90 equals 30. Probability P that a person selected at random from the group is less than 20 is given by 30 divided by 120 equals 0.25. The probability that the person's age is less than 20 would be 0.25. Let's move on to the next question. The length of a rectangle is increased to 2 times its original size and its width is increased to 3 times its original size. If the area of the new rectangle is equal to 1800 square meters, what is the area of the original rectangle? Let's look at the solution to this question. If L and W be the original length and width of the rectangle and its area is given by length times width, after increase the length becomes 2L and the width becomes 3W. The area is then given by 2L times 3W and is known. So it would be 2L times 3W equals 1800. Solve the above equation to find L times W. 6L times W equals 1800. L times W equals 1800 divided by 6 is equals to 300 square meters, area of original rectangle. The area of the original triangle is 300. Let's move on to the next question. Pump A can fill a tank of water in 5 hours. Pump B can fill the same tank in 8 hours. How long does it take the two pumps working together to fill the tank? Round your answer to the nearest minute. Let's look at the solution to this question. In 1 hour Pump A can fill 1/5 of a tank and Pump B can fill 1/8 of the same tank. So in 1 hour the two pumps working together can fill 1/5 plus 1/8 is equals to 13/40ths of a tank. Since the rate of the two pumps working together is 13/40ths, the time T needed to fill the tank by the two pumps is found by solving 13/40ths. T is equals to 1, so it would be T equals 40/13 equals 39/13 plus 1/13 of an hour equals 3 hours and 1/13 times 60 minutes equals 3 hours 5 minutes, rounded to the nearest minute. So it would take 3 hours 5 minutes to fill up the tank. Let's move on to the next question. Danny bought a total of 20 game cards, some of which cost 25 cents each and some of which cost 15 cents each. If Danny spent $4.20 to buy these cards, how many cards of each type did he buy? Let's look at the solution to this question. Let X be the number of cards that cost 25 cents each and Y the number of cards that cost 15 cents each. The total number of cards is 20. X plus Y equals 20. If X is the number of cards at 25 cents, then the X cards cost 0.25X. If Y is the number of cards at 15 cents, then the Y cards cost 0.15Y. The total cost of the X cards and the Y cards is known to be $4.20 and also given by 0.25x plus 0.15y equals 4.2. We now need to solve the system of equations. X plus y equals 20. 0.25x plus 0.15y equals 4.2. The first equation gives y equals 20x. Substitute y by 20x in the second equation and solve. 0.25x plus 0.15, 20x, equals 4.2, by 0.25 to 0.15, plus 3 equals 4.2. 0.1x equals 1.2, x equals 12 and y equals 20 minus 12 equals 8. Let's move on to the next question.
Two balls A and B rotate along a circular track. Ball A makes 2 full rotations in 26 minutes. Ball B makes 5 full rotation in 35 minutes. If they start rotating now from the same point, when will they be at the same starting point again?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
If ball A makes 2 rotations in 26 minutes, it makes 1 rotation in 13 minutes. If ball B makes 5 rotations in 35 minutes, it makes 1 rotation in 7 minutes. The two balls start rotating now and make several rotations before they are at the same starting points. Ball A would have done a whole number x of rotations and ball B would have done a whole number y of rotations. Also they would have rotated during the same period of time t. T equals 13x equals 7y. Hence 13x equals 7y. Solve the above for x. X equals 7y, 13. We want the time when they are first at the same starting point. Therefore x and y are the smallest whole numbers of the equation x equals 7y, 13. The smallest value of y that gives x as a whole number is 13. X equals 7, 13. 13 equals 7. Time t is given by t equals 13x equals 13 times 7 equals 91 minutes equals 1 hour and 31 minutes. Or t equals 7y equals 7 times 13 equals 91 minutes equals 1 hour and 31 minutes. So they will be at the same starting point after 1 hour and 31 minutes.
Let's move on to the next question.
Mary, Peter, and Lucy were picking chestnuts. Mary picked twice as much chestnuts than Peter. Lucy picked 2 kilograms more than Peter. Together the three of them picked 26 kilograms of chestnuts. How many kilograms did each of them pick?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Let x be the amount Peter picked. Then Mary and Lucy picked 2x and x plus 2, respectively. So, x plus 2x plus x plus 2 equals 26. 4x equals 24. X equals 6. Therefore, Peter, Mary, and Lucy picked 6, 12, and 8 kilograms, respectively.
Let's move on to the next question.
A farming field can be plowed by 6 tractors in 4 days. When 6 tractors work together, each of them plows 120 hectares a day. If 2 of the tractors were moved to another field, then the remaining 4 tractors could plow the same field in 5 days. How many hectares a day would one tractor plow then?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
If each of 6 tractors plowed 120 hectares a day and they finished the work in 4 days, then the whole field is 120 by 6 by 4 equals 2880 hectares. Let's suppose that each of the 4 tractors plowed x hectares a day. Therefore in 5 days they plowed 5 by 4x equals 20x 5 by 4x equals 20 times x hectares, which equals the area of the whole field, 2880 hectares. So, we get 20x equals 2880. X equals 2880 divided by 20 equals 144. So each of the 4 tractors would plow 144 hectares a day.
Let's move on to the next question.
A student chose a number, multiplied it by 2, then subtracted 138 from the result and got 102. What was the number he chose?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Let x be the number he chose, then 2 times x minus 138 equals 102. 2x equals 240. X equals 120. The number he chose is 120.
Let's move on to the next question.
I chose a number and divided by 5. Then I subtracted 154 from the result and got 6. What was the number I chose?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Let x be the number I chose, then x divided by 5 minus 154 equals 6. X over 5 equals 160. X equals 800. The number I chose is 800.
Let's move on to the next question.
Solve. 7 minus 2y times 5 plus y equals 0.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
7 minus 2y times 5 plus y equals 0. Either 7 minus 2 years equals 0 or 5 plus y equals 0. So the two solutions are 7 minus 2 years equals 0, 2 years equals 7, y equals 3 and 1/2. 5 plus y equals 0, y equals minus 5. So y equals 3 and 1/2 or minus 5.
Let's move on to the next question.
Solve. X plus 2 times 2x minus 1 equals 0.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
X plus 2x minus 1 equals 0. Either x plus 2 equals 0 or 2x minus 1 equals 0. So the two solutions are x plus 2 equals 0, x equals minus 2. 2x minus 1 equals 0, 2x equals 1, x equals 1/2. Therefore x equals minus 2 or 1/2.
Let's move on to the next question.
What 5-digit number has the following features? If we place an extra numeral 1 at the beginning, we get a number 3 times smaller than if we put that numeral 1 at the end of the number.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
We can make an equation. 3/100,000 plus x equals 10x plus 1. Why? Well, adding 100,000 puts a 1 at the front of a 5-digit number, and multiplying by 10 and adding 1 puts a 1 at the end of a number. Solving this gives 10x plus 1 equals 3/100,000 plus x. 10x plus 1 equals 300,000 plus 3x. 10x equals 299,999 plus 3x. 7x equals 299,999. X equals 299,999. 7 equals 42,857. The answer is 42,857. 142,857 is 3 times smaller than 428,571.
Let's move on to the next question.
What is unique about 8549176320?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
It is the digits 0 to 9 in alphabetical order. Note, it can also be exactly divided by all of the digits 1 to 9 except 7, thanks to the hermit.
Let's move on to the next question.
What is the 21st term of the sequence given by xn equals 4n minus 3?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
xn equals 4n minus 3. To find the 21st term, replace n by 21. Therefore x21 equals 4 times 21 minus 3 equals 84 minus 3 equals 81. 21st term is 81.
Let's move on to the next question.
If n is a natural number, what is the 6th term of the sequence given by xn equals 4 times 0.5n?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
xn equals 4 times 0.5n. To find the 6th term, replace n by 6. Therefore x6 equals 4 times 0.56 equals 4 times 0.015625 equals 0.0625. The 6th term is 0.0625.
Let's move on to the next question.
The nth term of the sequence is given by xn equals 3n2 minus 1. Which term of the sequence is equal to 866?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
If xn equals 866, 3n2 minus 1 equals 866. 3n2 equals 866 plus 1 equals 867. n2 equals 867 divided by 3 equals 289. n equals 289 equals 17. Therefore the 17th term is equal to 866.
Let's move on to the next question.
What is the partial sum of the first 7 triangular numbers?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
The nth triangular number is given by xn equals n times n plus 1 divided by 2. Therefore, the first triangular number equals x1 equals 1 times 2, divided by 2 equals 1. The second triangular number equals x2 equals 2 times 3, divided by 2 equals 3. The third triangular number equals x3 equals 3 times 4 divided by 2 equals 6. The fourth triangular number equals x4 equals 4 times 5 divided by 2 equals 10. The fifth triangular number equals x5 equals 5 times 6 divided by 2 equals 15. The sixth triangular number equals x6 equals 6 times 7 divided by 2 equals 21. The seventh triangular number equals x7 equals 7 times 8 divided by 2 equals 28. Therefore the partial sum of the first 7 triangular numbers equals 1 plus 3 plus 6 plus 10 plus 15 plus 21 plus 28 equals 84. Therefore the partial sum of the first 7 triangular numbers is 84.
Let's move on to the next question.
The partial sums of the first n and n plus 1 numbers of the Fibonacci sequence are both divisible by 11. What is the smallest value of n for which this is true?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
These are the first few terms of the Fibonacci sequence. 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55. The partial sum of the first one term equals 0. The partial sum of the first two terms equals 0 plus 1 equals 1. The partial sum of the first three terms equals 0 plus 1 equals 2. The partial sum of the first four terms equals 0 plus 1 plus 2 equals 4. The partial sum of the first 5 terms equals 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 7. The partial sum of the first 6 terms equals 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 5 equals 12. The partial sum of the first 7 terms equals 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 8 equals 20. The partial sum of the first 8 terms equals 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 8 plus 13 equals 33. The partial sum of the first 9 terms equals 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 8 plus 13 plus 21 equals 54. The partial sum of the first 10 terms equals 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 8 plus 13 plus 21 plus 34 equals 88. The partial sum of the first 11 terms equals 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 8 plus 13 plus 21 plus 34 plus 55 equals 143. 33 is divisible by 11, but 54 is not. Then 88 and 143 are both divisible by 11. So n equals 10 is the smallest value of n for which the sums of the first n and n plus 1 numbers are both divisible by 11. The smallest value of n is 10.
Let's move on to the next question.
Write this mathematical sentence using algebra. 6 is added to a number x. Then the result is multiplied by 9. The final answer is greater than 99.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Start with x. Add 6 equals x plus 6. Multiply by 9 equals 9x plus 6. The final answer is greater than 99 equals 9 times x plus 6 greater than 99.
Let's move on to the next question.
Rose sat a quiz with 30 questions, and got less than half as many questions wrong as she got right. How many questions could she have got right?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Let the number she got right be r and the number she got wrong be w. We know that there were 30 questions in the quiz, so r plus w equals 30 equals w equals 30 minus r. We also know that she got less than half as many questions wrong as she got right. So w less than half r equals 2 watts less than r. Solve. Start with 2 watts less than r. W equals 30 minus r. So we can substitute 30 minus r for w, 230 minus r, less than r. Multiply the parentheses, 60 minus 2r less than r. Add 2r to both sides, 60 less than 3r. Swap sides, 3r greater than 60. Divide both sides by 3, r greater than 20. Let's check. If r equals 19, then w equals 11 and she got more than half as many questions wrong as she got right. If r equals 20, then w equals 10 and she got half as many questions wrong as she got right. If r equals 21, then w equals 9 and she got less than half as many questions wrong as she got right. Therefore she got more than 20 questions right.
Let's move on to the next question.
Josh invests $5,000 in a savings account yielding 2.5% interest compounded annually. At the end of how many years will the amount in the savings account exceed $5,600?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Use the compound interest formula. FV equals PV times 1 plus RN, where FV equals future value, PV equals present value, R equals annual interest rate, N equals number of periods. In this case we know FV greater than or equal to $5,600, PV equals $5,000, R equals 0.025. Let the number of years be N, and substitute into the formula. 5,000 times 1 plus 0.025 n greater than or equal to 5,600. 1.025 n greater than or equal to 5,600 divided by 5,000 equals 1.12. 1.025 n greater than or equal to 1.12. There are two ways we can do this. Method 1. Substitute values of n until the inequality is satisfied. 1.0251 equals 1.025 which is not greater than or equal to 1.12. 1.0252 equals 1.050625 which is not greater than or equal to 1.12. 1.0253 equals 1.07689. Which is not greater than or equal to 1.12. 1.0254 equals 1.1038. Which is not greater than or equal to 1.12. 1.0255 equals 1.1314. Which is greater than 1.12. Method 2. Take logarithms. 1.025 n greater than or equal to 1.12. Lane 1.025 n greater than or equal to lane 1.12. N lane 1.025 greater than or equal to lane 1.12. N greater than or equal to lane 1.12 slash lane 1.025. N greater than or equal to 4.589. Therefore Josh would need to invest for 5 years for the amount in the savings account to exceed $5,600.
Let's move on to the next question.
How many two-digit numbers with the ones digit greater than 0 are there that are greater than 3 times the number that is created out of these numbers by reversing its digits?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Let us call the tens digit x, and the ones digit y. So a two-digit number is 10x plus y. And we have to solve 10x plus y greater than 3 10 years plus x. 10x plus y greater than 30 years plus 3x. 7x greater than 29 years. X greater than 4 years since x and y are both whole numbers. So, if y equals 1, x could be 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9. If y equals 2, x could be 9. If y greater than or equal to 3, there are no values of x that work. So, there are just 6 possibilities: 51, 61, 71, 81, 91 and 92.
Let's move on to the next question.
What is the area of this rectangle?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Area equals W times H. W equals width. H equals height. The width is 6, and the height is 4, so we know W equals 6 and H equals 4. So, area equals 6 times 4 equals 24.
Let's move on to the next question.
Estimate the area of the heptagon by counting squares. Which of the following gives the best estimate?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
The squares do not match the shape exactly, so you will need to approximate an answer by using the rules. More than half a square counts as 1, less than half a square counts as 0. You might have a different opinion about what counts as more than half a square or less than half a square, but the best answer from the list is 30.
Let's move on to the next question.
Write this mathematical sentence using algebra. A number z is multiplied by 4. Then 8 is subtracted from the result. The final answer is greater than or equal to 28.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Start with z. Multiply by 4 4z. Subtract 8 4z, 8. The final answer is greater than or equal to 28 4z, 8 greater than or equal to 28.
Let's move on to the next question.
Gloria starts with 5 times as much money as Hamish. Gloria gives $8 to Hamish, and then Hamish has more money than Gloria. If Hamish starts with $H, then which of the following is a correct inequality for H?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Consider the relationship between the amounts they have at the start and the relationship between the amounts they have after Gloria gives Hamish $8. At the start, Hamish has $H. Gloria has 5 times as much money as Hamish. So Gloria has $5H. After Gloria gives Hamish $8, Hamish has $H plus 8. Gloria has $5 minus 8. But then Hamish has more money than Gloria. H plus 8 greater than 5 hours minus 8. Correct inequality for H is H plus 8 greater than 5 hours minus 8.
Let's move on to the next question.
Use this conversion chart to convert 5 feet into meters.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
From the conversion chart, 1 foot equals 0.3048 meters. So 5 feet equals 5 times 0.3048 meters equals 1.524 meters. 5 feet is equals to 1.524 meters.
Let's move on to the next question.
Use this conversion chart to convert 8 kilometers into miles.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
From the conversion chart, 1 kilometer equals 0.6214 mile. So 8 kilometers equals 8 times 0.6214 miles equals 4.9712 miles. So 8 kilometers is equals to 4.9712 miles.
Let's move on to the next question.
Use this conversion chart to convert 12 centimeters into inches.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
From the conversion chart, 1 centimeter equals 0.3937 inches. So 12 centimeters equals 12 times 0.3937 inches equals 4.7244 inches. 12 centimeters is equals to 4.7244 inches.
Let's move on to the next question.
Use the conversion chart to convert 7 nautical miles into kilometers.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
From the conversion chart, 1 nautical mile equals 1.853 kilometers. So 7 nautical miles equals 7 times 1.853 kilometers equals 12.971 kilometers. 7 nautical miles is equals to 12.971 kilometers.
Let's move on to the next question.
Use the conversion chart to convert 800 centimeters to yards.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
From the conversion chart, 100 centimeters equals 1.0936 yards. So 800 centimeters equals 8 times 1.0936 yards equals 8.7488 yards. 800 centimeters is equals to 8.7488 yards.
Let's move on to the next question.
Use the conversion chart to convert 440 yards to meters.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
From the conversion chart, 1 yard equals 0.9144 meters. So 440 yards equals 440 times 0.9144 equals 402.336 meters. 44 yards is equals to 402.336 meters.
Let's move on to the next question.
Use the conversion chart to convert 8.5 inches to centimeters.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
From the conversion chart, 1 in equals 2.54 centimeters. So 8.5 in equals 8.5 in equals 8.5 times 2.54 centimeters equals 21.59 centimeters. 8.5 inches is equals to 21.59 centimeters.
Let's move on to the next question.
Mount Everest is 5.5 miles high. Use the conversion chart to convert the height of Mount Everest to meters correct to the nearest meter.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
From the conversion chart, 1 mile equals 1.6093 kilometers. So 5.5 miles equals 5.5 miles equals 5.5 times 1.6093 kilometers equals 8.85115 kilometers equals 8,851.15 meters equals 8,851 meters correct to the nearest meter.
Let's move on to the next question.
The distance of the marathon race is 42.1955 kilometers. Use the conversion chart to convert the distance to yards correct to the nearest yard.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
From the conversion chart, 1 meter equals 1.0936 yards. So, 42.1955 kilometers equals 42,195.5 meters, multiplied by 1,000. Equals 42,195.5 times 1.0936 yards. Equals 46,144.9988 yards. Equals 46,145. Distance to yards correct to the nearest yard is 46,145.
Let's move on to the next question.
How many rectangles similar to this rectangle are there in the following diagram?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Congruent has to be exactly the same size, but similar allows resizing. There are 20 rectangles that are congruent, and so are also similar. There are also 4 similar rectangles with twice the dimensions of the given rectangle. They are shaded yellow in the following diagram. The main rectangle, that they all fit in, is not similar though, as it is a bit longer than it should be. So there are 24 similar rectangles altogether.
Let's move on to the next question.
When asked about his birthday, a man said, "The day before yesterday I was only 25 and next year I will turn 28. This is true only one day in a year. When was he born?"
Let's look at the solution to this question.
He was born on December 31st and spoke about it on January 1st. The day before yesterday I was only 25. December 30th, 25. December 31st, 26. Jan 1, this year, 26. Next year I will turn 28. December 31st, this year, 27. December 31st, next year, 28. He was born on December 31st.
Let's move on to the next question.
What unit does this thermometer measure?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
The unit of measurement is degrees Celsius. So 28 means 28 degrees Celsius.
Let's move on to the next question.
Use this conversion chart to convert 50 square feet into square meters.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
From the conversion chart, 1 ft2 equals 0.0929 square meters. So 50 ft2 equals 50 times 0.0929 square meters equals 4.645 square meters. 50 squares equals to 4.645 square meters.
Let's move on to the next question.
Use this conversion chart to convert 24 hectares into acres.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
From the conversion chart, 1 hectare equals 2.4711 acres. So 24 hectares equals 24 times 2.4711 acres equals 59.3064 acres. 24 hectares is equals to 59.3064 acres.
Let's move on to the next question.
Use this conversion chart to convert 18 square centimeters into square inches.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
From the conversion chart, 1 square centimeter equals 0.1550 square inches. So 18 square centimeters equals 18 times 0.1550 and 2 equals 2.79 square inches. 18 square centimeters is equals to 2.79 square inches.
Let's move on to the next question.
Use this conversion chart to convert 9 square miles into square kilometers.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
From the conversion chart, 1 mile 2 equals 2.59 square kilometers. So 9 mile 2 equals 9 times 2.59 square kilometers equals 23.31 square kilometers. 9 square miles is equals to 23.31 square kilometers.
Let's move on to the next question.
Use this conversion chart to convert 20 square meters to square yards.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
From the conversion chart, 1 square meter equals 1.196002. So 20 square meters equals 20 times 1.196002 equals 23.92. 20 square meters is equals to 23.92 square yards.
Let's move on to the next question.
Use this conversion chart to convert 0.2 acre to square meters.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
From the conversion chart, 1 acre equals 4,046.9 square meters. So 0.2 acre equals 0.2 times 4,046.9 square meters equals 809.38 meters. 0.2 acre is equals to 809.38 square meters.
Let's move on to the next question.
Use this conversion chart to convert 720 square inches to square meters.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
From the conversion chart, 144 and 2 equals 0.0929 square meters. So 720 and 2 equals 5 times 144 and 2 equals 5 times 0.0929 square meters equals 0.4645 meters. 0.2 720 square inches is equals to 0.4645 square meters.
Let's move on to the next question.
Use this conversion chart to convert 5 square kilometers to acres.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
From the conversion chart, 1 square kilometer equals 100 hectares and 1 hectare equals 2.4711 acres. So 5 square kilometers equals 5 times 100 hectares equals 500 hectares equals 500 times 2.471 acres equals 1,235.5 acres. 5 square kilometers is equals to 1,235.5 acres.
Let's move on to the next question.
Word problem examples. 1. Age. Abigail is 6 years older than Jonathan. 6 years ago she was twice as old as he. How old is each now?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Let x equals Jonathan's age now, smaller number. X plus 6 equals Abigail's age now. X, 6 equals Jonathan's age 6 years ago. X plus 6, 6 equals Abigail's age 6 years ago. 6 years ago she was twice as old as he. Equation, x plus 6, 6 equals 2x, 6. X equals 2x, 12. X equals minus 12. Answers. X equals 12, Jonathan's age now. X plus 6 equals 18, Abigail's age now.
Let's move on to the next question.
Numbers. There are 2 numbers whose sum is 72. One number is twice the other. What are the numbers?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Steps. 1. Read the problem. It is about numbers. 2. The question at the end asks, what are the numbers? So we start out let x equal smaller number. Be sure you always start with x, that is, 1x. Never start off with let 2x equals something, because it is meaningless unless you know what x stands for. 3. Now let's put it all together and solve. Solution. Let x equals smaller number. 2x equals larger number. Then x plus 2x equals 72. 3x equals 72. Answers. X equals 24, smaller number. 2x equals 48, larger number. Check. The sum of the numbers is 72. Thus 24 plus 48 equals 72. The numbers are 24 and 48.
Let's move on to the next question.
The average, arithmetic mean, of a list of 6 numbers is 20. If we remove one of the numbers, the average of the remaining numbers is 15. What is the number that was removed?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Step 1. The removed number could be obtained by difference between the sum of original 6 numbers and the sum of remaining 5 numbers, i.e., Removed number equals sum of original 6 numbers, sum of remaining 5 numbers. Step 2, using the formula. Sum of terms equals average times number of terms. Sum of original 6 numbers equals 20 times 6 equals 120. Sum of remaining 5 numbers equals 15 times 5 equals 75. Step 3, using the formula from step 1. Removed number equals sum of original 6 numbers, sum of remaining 5 numbers. 120 to 75 equals 45. Answer: the number removed is 45.
Let's move on to the next question.
A class of 25 students took a science test. 10 students had an average, arithmetic mean, score of 80. The other students had an average score of 60. What is the average score of the whole class?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Step 1. To get the sum of weighted terms, multiply each average by the number of students that had that average and then sum them up. 80 times 10 plus 60 times 15 equals 800 plus 900 equals 1700. Step 2. Total number of terms equals total number of students equals 25. Step 3. Using the formula. Weighted average equals sum of weighted terms slash total number of terms. Equals 1725. Equals 68. Be careful. You will get the wrong answer if you add the two average scores and divide the answer by 2. The average score of the whole class is 68.
Let's move on to the next question.
John drove for 3 hours at a rate of 50 miles per hour and for 2 hours at 60 miles per hour. What was his average speed for the whole journey?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Step 1. The formula for distance is distance equals rate times time. Total distance equals 50 times 3 plus 60 times 2 equals 270. Step 2. Total time equals 3 plus 2 equals 5. Step 3. Using the formula average speed equals total distance divided by total time. Equals 270 divided by 5. Equals 54. Be careful. You will get the wrong answer if you add the two speeds and divide the answer by 2. The average speed is 54 miles per hour.
Let's move on to the next question.
The sum of the least and greatest of 3 consecutive integers is 60. What are the values of the 3 integers?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Step 1. Assign variables. Let x equals least integer. X plus 1 equals middle integer. X plus 2 equals greatest integer. Translate sentence into an equation. Sentence. The sum of the least and greatest is 60. Rewrite sentence. X plus 2 equals 60. Step 2. Solve the equation. Combine like terms. 2x plus 2 equals 60. Isolate variable x. 2x equals 58. X equals 58 divided by 2 equals 29. Step 3. Check your answer. 29 plus 2 equals 60. The question wants all the 3 consecutive numbers, 29, 30 and 31. The 3 consecutive numbers are 29, 30 and 31.
Let's move on to the next question.
The lengths of the sides of a triangle are consecutive odd numbers. What is the length of the longest side if the perimeter is 45?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Step 1. Being consecutive odd numbers, we need to add 2 to the previous number. Assign variables. Let x equals length of shortest side. X plus 2 equals length of medium side. X plus 4 equals length of longest side. Sketch the figure. Step 2. Write out the formula for perimeter of triangle. P equals sum of the 3 sides. Step 3. Plug in the values from the question and from the sketch. 45 equals x plus 2 plus x plus 4. Combine like terms. 45 equals 3x plus 6. Step 3. Check your answer. 13 plus 2 plus 13 plus 4 equals 45. Be careful. The question requires the length of the longest side. The length of longest equals 13 plus 4 equals 17. The length of longest side is 17.
Let's move on to the next question.
John has a board that is 5 feet long. He plans to use it to make 4 shelves whose lengths are to be a series of consecutive even numbers. How long should each shelf be in inches?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Step 1. Being consecutive even numbers, we need to add 2 to the previous number. Assign variables. Let x equals length of first shelf. X plus 2 equals length of second shelf. X plus 4 equals length of third shelf. X plus 6 equals length of fourth shelf. Step 2. Convert 5 feet to inches. 5 times 12 equals 60. Step 3. Sum of the 4 shelves is 60. X plus 2 plus x plus 4 plus x plus 6 equals 60. Combine like terms. 4x plus 12 equals 60. Isolate variable x. 4x equals 60 to 12. 4x equals 48. X equals 12. Step 3. Check your answer. 12 plus 12 plus 2 plus 12 plus 4 plus 12 plus 6 equals 60. The lengths of the shelves should be 12, 14, 16 and 18. The lengths of the shelves in inches should be 12, 14, 16 and 18.
Let's move on to the next question.
5 years ago, John's age was half of the age he will be in 8 years. How old is he now?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Step 1. Let x be John's age now. Look at the question and put the relevant expressions above it. Step 2. Write out the equation. X minus 5 equals 1 divided by 2 times x plus 8. X minus 5 equals 1 divided by 2 times x plus 4. Isolate variable x. X minus half x equals 4 plus 5. 1 half x equals 9. X equals 18. X minus 5 equals 1 divided by 2 times x plus 8. X minus 5 equals 1 divided by 2 times x plus 4. Isolate variable x. X minus half x equals 4 plus 5. 1 half x equals 9. X equals 18. John is now 18 years old.
Let's move on to the next question.
The sum of the digits of a 2-digit number is 11. If we interchange the digits, then the new number formed is 45 less than the original. Find the original number.
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Step 1. Assign variables. Let x equals 1's digit and t equals 10's digit. Sentence. The sum of the digits of a 2-digit number is 11. X plus t equals 11. Isolate variable x. X equals 11, t, equation 1. Step 2. Convert digits to number. Original number equals t times 10 plus x. Interchanged number equals x times 10 plus t. Sentence. If we interchange the digits, then the new number formed is 45 less than the original. Interchanged equals original minus 45. X times 10 plus t equals t times 10 plus x minus 45. 10x plus t equals 10t plus x minus 45. 10x minus x plus t equals 10t minus 45, minus x to both sides. 10x minus x equals 10t minus t minus 45, minus t to both sides. 10x minus x plus 45 equals 10t minus t, plus 45 to both sides. 10t minus t equals 10x minus x plus 45. Rewrite equation with t on the left-hand side. Combine like terms. 10t minus t equals 10x minus x plus 45. 9t equals 9x plus 45, equation 2. Substitute equation 1 into equation 2. 9t equals 911 minus t, plus 45. 9t equals 99 minus 9t plus 45. Isolate variable t. 9t plus 9t equals 99 plus 45. 18t equals 144. T equals 144 divided by 18 equals 8. The tens digit is 8. The ones digit is 11 minus 8 equals 3. The number is 83.
Let's move on to the next question.
John wants to have an interest income of $3,000 a year. How much must he invest for 1 year at 8%?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
I equals PRT, where I is the interest generated. P is the principal amount that is either invested or owed. R is the rate at which the interest is paid. T is the time that the principal amount is either invested or owed. Step 1. Write down the formula. I equals PRT. Step 2. Plug in the values. 45 equals P times 0.04 times 1/2. 45 equals 0.02 P. P equals 2,250. She owes $2,250.
Let's move on to the next question.
John wants to move a 400-pound rock with a 5 feet 9 inches crowbar. He puts the fulcrum 9 inches from the rock. How much force must he use to move the rock?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Step 1. Assign variables. Let x equals force used. Change 5 feet to 5 times 12 equals 60 inches. Step 2. Sketch the diagram. Step 3. Obtain equation from the diagram. 9 times 400 equals 60 times x. Isolate variable x. 60x equals 3,600. X equals 60. He must use a force of 60 pounds.
Let's move on to the next question.
John, Peter and Jane weigh 80, 60 and 50 pounds respectively. John sits 3 feet, Peter sits 5 feet and Jane sits 6 feet from the fulcrum on the same side. How far must their 200 pounds father sits from the fulcrum in order to balance them?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Step 1. Assign variables. Let x equals distance of father from fulcrum. Step 2. Sketch the diagram. Step 3. Obtain equation from the diagram. 200 times x equals 3 times 80 plus 5 times 60 plus 6 times 50. Isolate variable x. 200x equals 240 plus 300 plus 300. 200x equals 840. X equals 4.2. Their father must sit 4.2 feet from the fulcrum.
Let's move on to the next question.
John weighs 90 pounds and Jane weighs 60 pounds. They are both seating on a seesaw. If John is seated 10 feet away from Jane, how far should each be from the fulcrum of the seesaw?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Step 1. Assign variables. Let x equals distance of John from the fulcrum. Let 10 minus x equals distance of Jane from the fulcrum. Step 2. Sketch the diagram. Step 3. Obtain equation from the diagram. 90x equals 60 10 minus x. Use the distributive property. 90x equals 600 minus 60x. Isolate variable x. 90x plus 60x equals 600. 150x equals 600. X equals 4. John should be 4 feet and Jane should be 6 feet from the fulcrum.
Let's move on to the next question.
The first term in a sequence of numbers is 2. Each even-numbered term is 3 more than the previous term and each odd-numbered term, excluding the first, is minus 1 times the previous term. What is the 45th term of the sequence?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Step 1. Write down the terms until you notice a repetition. 2, 5, minus 5, minus 2, 2, 5, minus 5, minus 2. The sequence repeats after the fourth term. Step 2. To find the 45th term, find the remainder for 45 divided by 4, which is 1. 45 divided by 4 is 11, remainder 1. Step 3. The 45th term is the same as the first term, which is 2. The 45th term is 2.
Let's move on to the next question.
6, 13, 27, 55. In the sequence above, Each term after the first is determined by multiplying the preceding term by m and then adding n. What is the value of n?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Method 1. Notice the pattern. 6 times 2 plus 1 equals 13. 13 times 2 plus 1 equals 27. The value of n is 1. Method 2. Write the description of the sequence as two equations with the unknowns m and n, as shown below, and then solve for n. 6 meters plus n equals 13, equation 1. 13 meters plus n equals 27, equation 2. Substitute n equals 13 to 6 meters into equation 2. 13 meters plus 13 minus 6 meters equals 27. 7 meters equals 14. M equals 2. Substitute m equals 2 into equation 1. 6 2 plus n equals 13. N equals 1. The value of n is 1.
Let's move on to the next question.
The tens digit of a number is 3 times the ones digit. The sum of the digits in the number is 8. What is the number?
Let's look at the solution to this question.
Step 1. Sentence. The tens digit of a number is 3 times the ones digit. Assign variables. Let x equals ones digit. 3x equals tens digit. Sentence. The sum of the digits in the number is 8. X plus 3x equals 8. Step 2. Solve the equation. X plus 3x equals 8. Isolate variable x. 4x equals 8. X equals 2. The ones digit is 2. The tens digit is 3 times 2 equals 6. The number is 62.
Let's move on to the next question.
What unit does the black scale measure? The answer is, the unit is kg, so 1 means 1 kilogram.
Let's move on to the next question.
What unit does the red scale measure? The answer is, the unit is lb, which means pounds.
Let's move on to the next question.
For what unit can you use this measuring jug? The answer is, the unit of measurement is milliliters, ml, so 150 means 150 milliliters.